This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And this is a little different because there's no intro on this video.
Mm-hmm.
Today is Throwback Thursday. Not throw your lunch up. No, Throwback Thursday. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know, but it was good. Roll with it.
Roll with it. So today we're covering what, Will?
Maniac Mansion.
That's great. Okay, no, yeah, Maniac Mansion, and specifically the NES version, only because it fits the narrative of like a.
It's also an interesting story, the port to the NES. So
Yeah,
kind of
it
cool thing to cover.
So I'll give you guys the background real quick, and a lot of this comes from Wikipedia, the greatest source of information on the planet that you can't trust for scientific papers.
Take that, middle school teachers. I can use this for information in my book report.
Yes, our reports that are just spoken words in a form of a podcast.
Yes.
So Maniac Mansion is a 1987 graphic adventure video game developed and published by Lucasfilm Games. It follows the teenage protagonist, Dave Miller, as he attempts to rescue his girlfriend, Sandy Pants, from a mad scientist whose mind
I
has
honestly read that and I didn't even catch that. That's funny.
been enslaved by a sentient meteor, of all things.
That's the best plot ever.
The player uses a point-and-click interface to guide Dave and two of his 6 playable friends through the scientist's mansion while solving puzzles and avoiding dangers. Gameplay is non-linear, and the game must be completed in different ways based on the player's choice of characters. Initially released for the Commodore 64 and the Apple II of all things, Maniac Mansion was Lucasfilm's first self-published product. Did I say Manic Monday or Maniac Mansion?
I'm not totally certain.
Okay, well, whatever. The game was conceived in 1985 by Ron Gilbert and Gary Winnick. Interesting conception story, who sought to tell a comedic story based on the horror film and B-movie cliches.
My favorite things.
They mapped out the project as a paper and pencil game before coding commenced.
You ever watch the B-movie with the shrews? It was like Attack of the Shrews. It's completely off topic, but they put dogs in like these rugs and pretended that they were shrews. Continue.
Okay. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah.
While earlier adventure titles had relied upon command lines, Gilbert disliked these such systems, and he developed Maniac Mansion's simpler point-and-click interface as a replacement. To speed up production, he created the game engine called Scum.
Nice.
I love this name, which was used in many later LucasArts titles. Let me tell you what Scum is real quick before we get into this. I'm trying to remember what it stands
what's on the
for.
inside of a shower when you don't rinse it down properly after you shower.
Oh, that's not what I want. I want the Control F over here. Scum. Here it is. So Scum, for those of you that don't know it, and Nintendo didn't know it, so that's another interesting story. Scum stands for Script Creation Utility for Maniac Mansion.
Nice. They
So
just wanted to make it say Scum. They were trying to think of something clever.
So when they ported this game to the NES in 1990, and I'm going to pull up this article here, because this article is written in 93 all about the production and development process because they were so angry with Nintendo.
It's fascinating. It's a good read.
Yeah. Basically, what they had to do was they had to not call it the Scum engine because Nintendo didn't like the idea of the Nintendo Scum engine. Because they ported the Scum engine to Nintendo Entertainment System and called it the Nintendo Scum. But also on top of that, the game when it was ported, Nintendo required a lot of changes. Not all of them made logical sense because some things they allowed to stay and some things they said, nope, that's got to go. As they considered many of the game's original themes too explicit in nature to be put on a Nintendo console, specifically the NES. So, just some examples.
It's interesting. Yeah, I guess go to the examples and then I'll say my piece.
Yeah. So they had to remove words like phrases like the meteor is going to be pissed. They changed it to the meteor is going to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
There's another part where let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so there are several places in the screen text that could be felt to be offensive to the NES players. Please amend blank the following. For a good time, Edna 3444. They changed that to let's see here.
Just call Edna.
Yeah, call Edna 3444. Another part says getting your brain sucked out. This is from Dr. Fred's first scene of Sandy, and they wanted to change that to say, let me see, pretty brains.
Just taken out, right?
Yeah,
That's all
basically, I think it was taken out. And there's another part that says, I'm worried about him. I'm worried he hasn't eaten in 5 years. He's been bringing those bodies, carries those bodies down to the basement at night. So they were like, well, what do you want us to change about this? They ended up changing it to he hasn't slept in 5 years.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so like just random stuff like that, right? Let's see here. There's another part where the girl's the older woman's a little creepy. She says, "I should have tied you to my bed, cutie." Whoa. And another person says, "You're lucky you aren't a boy." And then they changed it for Nintendo, and it says, "You'll be safe here until the police come. Just wait until I talk to your mother. I have half a mind to talk to my husband." It's just like, there's so many things. But can you imagine? You've created this game. A lot of people like it. You know, you're LucasArts. You're part of George Lucas's video game team. I like how this article ends. Nintendo is a jealous god. But in general,
it brings up some interesting points in the article because it really is more about the perception of something versus like what it actually is.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about how a lot of the games were, you know, shooter games or you kill things inherently in the game. Like Mario, you're killing animals left and right.
Oh yeah.
But because
mushrooms.
You're perceived that it's okay, then it's fine. Whereas this one, I guess, it's just perceptually it wasn't as okay because talking more about horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny that we went from Nintendo censoring this game to now there's Doom on the Switch.
And Night Trap, the game that was supposed to never be on a Nintendo product.
Yep.
And I feel like this game garnered a lot of attention similar to the same way the Night Trap did, where they just took a bunch of out of context things from the script and said, that can't be on Nintendo.
Yep. And it's like, I realize it's another different system, but, you know, 007 on the 64, obviously you're killing people in that game, but at the end, like, how does the end credits roll? You make out with the girl.
Yeah, but you can't see what's going on. Those pixels
you see the leg go up and everything.
Whatever. So, have you ever played this game, Will?
I have not played this game, but however, I want to now after reading that article because it sounds fascinating.
I've had a chance to play this on emulation at least once in my life. I can't remember where or when or how, but I played it at least once, and I can't say that it was a memorable experience for me, but mostly because I didn't understand the context of it, and I did not have the same respect for older games that I have now at the time. But think about this: at the start of the game, you select your characters, like. See this selection screen here, and it changes the game depending on which characters you select. Like that's pretty impressive for early 90s, and this game is now 30 years old. So
I want to say something, but it's gonna be very inappropriate.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to.
Okay,
unless you want to cut it.
We can talk after we're done. Anyways, so the old school copy protection associated with this game, not necessarily on Nintendo but on PC products. Back in the day, they would hand you in the package like some custom product documentation where when you put it in your computer, you would select a specific set of symbols based on what was in the booklet. Like that is some old school copy protection. Like here's this handwritten thing in the the product that you have to type into your computer to make this thing work. So it's like makes it a lot harder to resell these products because what did we do back in the day with video games? Because we were idiots. We opened it up, put the game in the thing, threw the box away.
Yep, threw away that cardboard box.
That would be looked at so poorly nowadays, but everybody did it.
I had a drawer of N64 and Super Nintendo cartridges. Just like opened it up and they're just tossed in there.
To be fair though, Nintendo wasn't really good about packaging back in the day.
No.
Also,
those things are beasts. Like the cartridges were fine. Part of the reason why I want the disc in the disc case is because they'll break like so easily.
That's fair.
So like it was totally fine just tossing a cartridge in the drawer. Never thought about it.
Yeah. So is this a game that you think would be cool to see a full blown remake on like a remake or I don't even know 3D or Telltale or something like that?
I think it'd be cool just for preservation purposes to port it to newer systems like the Switch. I mean, I would like to play a game like this. Maybe like improve the UI because I'm sure it's super clunky now. and maybe add in some like alternative storylines or maybe a branching path, like sort of like how Telltale does it, but without changing the overall structure of what made the original memorable. Maybe
Yeah.
not to you, but I'm sure to people who played it originally. Yeah.
Fair enough. I think it would be also cool to see this game reimagined in like a Telltale style, because it looks like it would work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like Telltale looked at a game like this and said, yeah, we can do this in modern day.
Yeah, it's a shame that games aren't goofy like this anymore. So many of them just take themselves too seriously. Like, you have a meteor that's possessing people, and obviously they're having a lot of jokes in the game where it's like, for a good time, call Edna. And I mean, it's rare to find those games now. Maybe like, what was that one Xbox exclusive? I'll think of it later. I forget now. There's zombies. It's essentially you're skating on the wires. I'm sure people remember what it. Just not Sunset Overdrive. That's the game.
Yeah, that's goofy. It's a really goofy game.
Very goofy.
Anyway, is there anything else you want to say about this one?
I wish that there was a game like this, because I really do like it when a movie takes a piss out of like horror movies, like Dave and Tucker versus Evil. It's on Netflix.
That's such a great
I highly
movie.
recommend it because it's hysterical. But it just makes fun of all of the horror movie tropes, and it does a really good job. I would love a game like that nowadays.
Absolutely, that would be cool. Or what's another one that I really enjoyed? Or you know what? Licensed franchises need to make a comeback too. Like Shrek 2 is one of my favorite beat 'em ups on old school technology or hardware. It's such a good game, and you just don't see that level of quality in a licensed game anymore.
No. Even if it's like a side scroller, I would totally take like a side scrolling Spider-Man or something.
Like Tommy said, that's what we want.
Exactly. I don't need super complex games to be enjoyable. I just want games to have some character to them.
This game looks like it would easily translate to modern hardware, even without any crazy changes. So, anyways, I am not the greatest person at covering this game because I don't have a lot of experience with it, but our guest recommended that we talk about this. Our guest from Monday through Wednesday, Smash JT. Unfortunately, we were not able to record these 2 episodes with him, this one and Friday. But if you haven't checked those out, go check out Monday to Wednesday, probably somewhere over here in the recommendeds on the side of this video.
He has a great discussion about why his thumbnails have his mouth really, really big. He doesn't even need to edit it. Chris just has a huge mouth already.
That's the thumbnail, Will.
No. Someone's editing something into that now.
Get the memes going. /frag, make it happen.
Why are you encouraging it?
Memes across my forehead. Remember, well, this is how we started this thing.
Yeah, that was the very first episode. Yep.
Anyway, as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And at 750 or 1,000 subs, you'll get some cool videos out of us. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah. But until then, mediocre.
Exactly. Yeah, we're at like 571 subscribers right now, which is really freaking cool. And we'd love to see us, 4-digit numbers.
Want that community tab so we can talk to you.
Yeah, I want to put some polls out and just be like, hey, are our videos too long? And they'll be like, yep. And I'll be like, okay, time to shorten them. But we will see you
Next CHRILLCAST.
Bye, guys.